This is Butterflies of Wisdom with your host, Wynn Charles. This podcast is designed to bridge the gap between the able-bodied and the disabled. We all have stepping stones on our path to success, and we hope you enjoy this path of learning about life from all perspectives.
Welcome to Butterflies of Wisdom, everyone. Today with me, I have Miss Zoe Davenport. Miss Zoe Davenport, again, is in my future, which she's Thursday, I'm Wednesday, aka she's in the UK. So without further ado, I'm going to let Miss Zoe take it away.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Wynn. Thanks for having me on to your podcast today. It's a pleasure to be here, and I will just let you know a little bit about myself. I'm a channel and master ascension guide and a crystalline grid activator. And I have what's known as a multidimensional connection, which means that I live my reality through my heart, and I allow my heart to guide my path and my decisions and my experiences, and help to create a reality that's aligned for the joy of which I'm seeking on that path. And I believe that your current reality holds the potential vibration for you to ascend into what's known as ascension mastery, which is understanding the true soul purpose of why you're here and the gifts and talents of which you're able to expand into when you live your life from your heart and you allow yourselves to explore your creative expression. And I've been on this kind of spiritual path for quite a long time, and it always comes back to love. It always comes back to the heart. It always comes back to integrating what we've learned, to understand that we knew and we understood that all along, because our knowingness and our capacity to receive the life that we want in this physical reality, it always comes from our heart. It always comes from love, and it always comes from opening our heart and really living from that space of pure divine potential through daily gratitude and present moment and presence with the present. So every aspect of my work is dedicated to help you achieve this kind of soul-aligned path. I call it accelerated ascension timeline, by accessing pieces of you that were maybe forgotten and opening up those centers to align you with your most heart-based aligned goals at the time. So I work with people in a number of ways through running live activation programs. I share a ton of free content online. I'm always posting videos and blogs, and I've been published on quite a few platforms. Also interviews such as this, just to share the message that I have to gift with humanity at this time. And then I also take on private one-to-one sessions and work with people in person occasionally through one-day intensives, and I run workshops and stuff as well. So my service to humanity is very much about expanding you back into the frequency that you came here to be, and reminding you that you are loved, reminding you that you have the capacity to receive yourself, which is who you truly are, which is love, which is light. And you are able to create a reality that's aligned to that frequency, a reality based on joy, love, compassion, and gratitude.
Well, my God, you have your marketing message down pat, Ms. Zoe.
I'm just speaking.
Just speaking. She goes, just speaking. So, Miss Zoe, what is your favorite book? And it doesn't have to be a business book. It just has to be a book that you go back to time and time again.
I have many books that I enjoy reading, but I think definitely I really enjoy the Law of Attraction book by Esther Hicks. She's been coming up in my field quite a lot recently. Her kind of channeling of the non-physical entities, Abraham, have some really great tools and techniques to help us on our spiritual paths to really create a life that's aligned with that heart space. And because that's kind of, you know, that's a big passion of mine, is all about alignment, because I believe when we're truly aligned to our hearts and souls, like our life becomes easier. It becomes easier. So I really like that book's Law of Attraction.
Law of Attraction, and I presume you guys can find that on Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for those of you in the UK, that would be Amazon.uk. For those of you in the US, that would be Amazon.com. Now, Zoe, what has been your favorite entrepreneurial moment in all this?
My favorite entrepreneur moment, I would have to say, when I was writing my book, Love is the Answer, and I was writing while I was traveling through Central America as part of my soul path. And I was looking after a house in Costa Rica for 5.5 weeks. So it was kind of like a writer's retreat. And I was living off of about $50 a week at the time, because this was in the middle of nowhere. There was no tourist things to do. It was just this house with the jungle and myself and my laptop. And I remember sitting there and just feeling this overwhelming sense of peace and gratitude to just be so joyful in that present moment with myself and with not much else. I literally had a laptop and a few clothes, and that was it. By the time that I got to that place, I had no toiletries left. I literally had a pair of flip-flops, a few clothes, and my laptop, and this house. And it's not, to me, I don't really measure entrepreneurial moments of success based on finances or based on the perception of how other people perceive you to be or their version of your success. For me, that moment there, I felt pretty entrepreneurial, because I was living the dream that I'd wanted to create for years, which was finally working for myself. And it was finally gifting myself the flexibility of that working lifestyle, which meant that I could travel and work. And at the time, I wasn't taking on client calls because I was writing. So I decided not to receive an income throughout that time. So I lived very frugally, but it meant that I had so much gratitude for every single penny in exchange that I had, like all the foods that I had each week. I felt that I was living a very abundant, rich, and successful life. And I think any entrepreneur listening to this, it can be such a roller coaster of emotions. Like one day you feel that you finally cracked it. You finally cracked this thing that you have to share. And then the next day you can feel like you're on the floor. And definitely, like, if there's anything that I can pass over, it's finding comfort and joy in the simplicities of what you already have will lead you to become a great entrepreneur, because you're no longer focused outside of you of what you're trying to get. You are literally allowing yourself to be in that present moment.
And you see yourself in that present moment. And when you were in Costa Rica, you were writing a book at this point.
Yeah, so for me, that was probably one of my most joyful moments, is knowing that the lifestyle that I was trying to create was already created without me needing a lot of money, is what I'm trying to say. And that's essentially why I had to take a leap of faith, starting to work for myself a few years ago and actually just make it happen. And so that was a pretty refreshing moment, that I was in the most abundant, luxurious places in the world, and I didn't need a lot of money, and I didn't need the business to be doing really well. But what I was doing was allowing myself the space I needed to create and share from my heart. So that was a really beautiful moment.
So were you in corporate America before this?
Was I there before? Yeah. So I was.
Yes.
I traveled last year I've been to about 11 countries since January 2016. So January to July, I was traveling through Central America. So from Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, Nicaragua, and Costa Rica.
But did you have a 9-to-5 job before taking a leap to do solo entrepreneurship?
No, I have been working for myself on and off for 5 years. And then before I took that trip, I was already working for myself. So I just decided that I was going to transition more of my skill set online. And I just took my laptop and put it in my rucksack, and off I went.
How cool is that? How cool is that? And so, Zoe, what is your favorite technology tool that you use on a daily basis?
Technology tool, I would have to say it would be my laptop, because the world that I've created with my business is on my laptop. Like everything is on there. Yeah. So yeah, it's a very valuable tool for me, and I upgraded last year to a better model, a better machine, and it's really essentially one of the only things I need to do what I do. But I mean, when I'm grounded in places, I obviously have more of my tools with me. So I have my sage and my singing bowls and my crystals, but like the technology piece is my laptop.
The technology piece is your laptop. And Zoe, where can people find you, and how could people get a hold of you, and how could people work with you or begin to work with you?
Sure. So you can reach me by signing up to my newsletter at www.zoe, which is Z-O-E, or sorry, you guys say Z-O-E, Davenport, which is DAVENPort.co.uk, or you can email me directly, and the email address is hello@zoedavenport.co.uk.
And Zoe, before I let you go, I want to ask you I want you to ask me a couple questions.
Sure. How did you get started with your podcast? What gave you the idea for it?
My book. I give full credit to my book, my original autobiography, I Come a Win, which could still be found on Amazon. You guys, when I wrote that book, I wrote it thinking, well, nothing would come about it. It turned into a green little monster that now I can't control. The podcast stemmed off my book.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. And do you enjoy meeting lots of different people? Is it kind of rewarding for you?
I do, but the show notes and the editing end of it, I don't like.
No.
The show notes and the editing end of it, do me in. So I will, I outsource my editing to my editor, and then I do my own show notes. And if I could outsource my show notes, that would be wonderful, but I can't. So but I am switching career paths as of 2019. As of 2018, actually, in September of this year, I'm actually going back to journalism school to pursue my dream career in journalism.
Amazing.
Because I was a teacher for 11 years and I'm still teaching, but I'll quit the teaching job in 2019.
Amazing. You must be excited. I
am, because teachers don't make enough money, but that's a whole nother podcast in itself.
Oh, cute.
So, well, Zoe, I appreciate the time, and you may have this interview next Monday just because of the phone ringing, nice distraction, and so you may have this interview next Monday. But I appreciate you guys, and we'll have Zoe's information in the show notes, and you guys can get a hold of her or contact me, and I'll give you guys her email address. So thank you